The wind moved softly across the valley that night, as though the whole world had slowed down to listen. The moon hung low above the distant hills, its silver light spilling gently over the stone walls of a forgotten kingdom, Orlan. Long ago, it had been a place of songs and laughter, but now only the whisper of the wind and the quiet breath of the earth remained. The scent of lavender drifted through the fields, where once royal gardens bloomed in colors that outshone the dawn. Now, the petals slept beneath layers of mist, and the fountains stood silent, their waters still and calm like glass. It was a place where time itself seemed tired, where every sound came softer, every color dimmer, as if the land had learned the art of sleeping while awake. At the edge of the valley stood an old tower. Its stones were worn smooth by centuries of rain and sun, yet it still stood proudly, touching the sky like a memory refusing to fade. Inside that tower lived the last keeper of Orlan, a quiet woman named Arindel. Arindel was neither young nor old. Her face carried the serenity of someone who had made peace with silence. Every evening, as the first stars appeared, she would light a single lantern in the tower's highest window. The flame flickered gently, casting warm ripples across the dark hills, as though reminding the night that someone still remembered. Her life was simple. She tended the small herb garden that grew along the eastern wall, collected rainwater in clay jars, and kept the ancient bell of the tower clean though she rarely rang it. The bell, carved with strange runes, had once signaled great celebrations, the crowning of kings, the arrival of spring, the return of warriors. Now, its sound was only a memory carried by the wind. Each night, after tending her lamp, Arindel would climb to the tower's balcony. She would rest her hands upon the cold stone rail and gaze over the silent valley below. From there, she could see the ghostly outlines of what once had been. The marketplace square, now overgrown with ivy, the marble bridges arching over still rivers, the empty roads leading nowhere. And yet, despite the quiet ruin, the place was not sad, it was peaceful, almost sacred. Sometimes, she imagined hearing faint echoes, a child's laughter, the distant call of a shepherd, or the soft hum of music drifting through open windows. Perhaps they were only the sounds of her heart, remembering what the land itself had forgotten. Far away, where the moon touched the horizon, small lights shimmered like fallen stars. Travelers still passed through the outer valleys of Orlan, though few dared to enter its heart. They said it was cursed, or asleep, depending on whom one asked. Some believed that Orlan's people had vanished overnight, carried away by dreams too deep to wake from. But Arindel knew the truth was quieter than legends. She had been a child when the last king fell asleep beneath the silver trees. It wasn't war or famine that ended Orlan, it was silence. A long, deep, beautiful silence that spread like mist, gentle yet unstoppable. The people, weary of struggle, had simply laid down their crowns, closed their eyes, and drifted into timeless rest. And she, the youngest among them, had somehow stayed awake. Her memories of those days were soft and faded now, like the pages of a book read long ago. She remembered her mother's voice, singing lullabies that spoke of eternal calm. She remembered the scent of rain in the palace courtyard, and how the king's hounds would sleep in the sun. Sometimes, she wondered if she too would one day fall asleep like the others, and whether the land would still remember her light in the tower. But she never feared it. The thought felt gentle, like a promise.